What's going on, Pops?
Once you getting this on, assalamu alaikum, son.
Walaikum salam, Pops.
How you doing, man?
How you feeling?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Got your nephew here. Legend.
Right.
Say what's up, Legend. Say hello, world.
Legend, what's up, man?
Yeah. He looking for his dad.
Yeah, he wore himself out from crying earlier.
I know, right? Indeed. Take it away, son.
Welcome, world, to another episode of TwoTrey's podcast.
Two.
You know what it is. Son Trey, and with me as always is Pop Trey. Pops, you want to go ahead and let them know why we do this every episode?
Oh, yeah, most definitely, son. This channel is to inspire and bridge the gap between the youth and the elders, between father and sons, bringing perspectives of truth versus the falsehood, and reflect love and peace with the black male, the black woman, and the black family in the whole, and the community. And also, it's about this legacy here. It's all about the legacy. That's what we do this for. Absolutely.
All right, let's go ahead and get into what we normally do in the beginning of our show, which is our honorable mention. Pops, I'll go ahead and get the video pulled up. Do you want me to read off the bio, or do you have it?
I got it. Right. The background music a little loud.
Oh yeah, I turned it up to block out Legend's crying a little bit early. No worries.
Right. All right. Are we queued up?
Yes, sir. Go ahead and take it away.
All right. Well, this is an honor for me to speak about this gentleman that I'm about to introduce you to all. If you have the picture up right now, as you see, this is Teddy Valentine. Teddy Valentine, who is one of my contemporaries in officiating. We had a very, very extensive conversation over the weekend, and I just wanted to give flowers where flowers are due, and let him know that he is an idol of mine and a true pioneer. Teddy Valentine grew up in a high-income gated community just outside of Moundsville, West Virginia. He was raised by his mother, who was a worker at a Lewis, Marks and Company factory making big wheel tricycles. His mother would put cardboard into her shoes over worn soles to save money. He did not know his father until junior high school. In the same year he met his father, he witnessed a friend die from an accidental gunshot wound to the head. Following this, he developed a stutter, for which he saw 2 speech therapists. He attended John Marshall High School, where he played baseball for 3 years. He attended Glenville State College, where he majored in physical education. He played first base for his college team. He graduated in 1980. Though he did not play basketball, he was a manager on his college basketball team. He was inducted into his College Sports Hall of Fame in 2006 after lettering in baseball. Following college, he returned to John Marshall High School, becoming a physical education and driver's education teacher, as well as a coach. In 1985, he was an assistant coach for the John Marshall High School baseball team that won the West Virginia Class AAA State Championship. While Valentine has never played organized basketball, he has coached it briefly. While in college, he was a student teacher at Weston Junior High in Weston, West Virginia. He was an assistant coach for the school's junior high girls team. The head coach had taken maternity leave, leading to Valentine being the substitute head coach for the game. He received 3 technicals before halftime. That sounds like him. And was ejected. On his way off the court, he passed the principal of the school, who said, "You just coached your last game." Following knee surgery, Valentine moved to Charleston, South Carolina in 2003. In addition to refereeing, Valentine also works part-time for the North Charleston Recreation Department. While doing janitorial work in the gym on work study program in college, Valentine had observed basketball referees and decided he wanted to be a college basketball referee. He talked with some referees about how to get started in the profession and took a class. He began refereeing at kid games, later moving up in high school. In 1991, he attended a referee camp in Bristol, Connecticut, run by the NBA Hall of Fame member Dallas Shirley. While there, he poured out a cooler of ice water from a window onto sunbathers below the window. Shirley threw Valentine out of the camp for the stunt. I didn't know that. A few months later, Shirley offered him a job as a referee. Valentine worked his first NCAA Division I basketball game in 1981 at the former Baptist College, now Charleston Southern University. He was paid $150 for the game and received a speeding ticket both on the way and returning from the game. In 1986, he was hired by Bob Wortman, who was then the Big Ten Conference's director of officials. Wortman was looking to diversify his staff, and after an interview, offered Valentine a job refereeing 30 games. He quit teaching and became a full-time college referee in 1988. Before his first NCAA championship game, Valentine lost his official pass and nearly did not get into the game. Valentine refereed his Final Four in 1991. He worked 26 consecutive NCAA tournaments until 2015, when he stepped aside from his work to spend time with his brother, who was dying from cancer. Valentine was to work the 2021 NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament in Indianapolis, but was sent home because of COVID-19 protocols. Valentine is sometimes referred by the nickname of TV Teddy for his sometimes theatrical officiating. I just want to give a big salute, a big shout out to my mentor, to my Teddy Valentine.
No doubt. Words out to Teddy Valentine. And we honor you being an honorable mention for today. Pops, I just want to recognize you real quick. You know what I'm saying? You were on a brother podcast with us. Well, not with us. On another podcast. Yesterday, last night?
Just last night, yeah. Soul Journey of Life.
Shout out, let them know how that went.
Absolutely. Big shout out to brother Questman and Soul Journey of Life. He was live last night. The topic was all eyes on Grandmaster Jay, and just pretty much, I gave my, 2 cents and added on to his dialogue in his chat, and it was a real dope conversation. You know what I mean? And we just bounced off of each other. You know what I mean? Him sharing his views of our brother, who is now considered to be a political prisoner. And also, somebody who we need to really, pay attention to and look at his case, just as thorough as you see cases on TV, because this brother had stepped out on a limb, sacrificed his life, his freedom for our liberation and getting us organized and moving about in one unit as a Black militia. So we definitely had a real in-depth conversation, and I just want to give a shout out to Brother Questman for allowing me to come on his platform and pretty much give my 2 cents about Grandmaster Jay. Salute.
Word. I was quite surprised, pleasantly surprised, actually tuning into the podcast. You tried to get me into it last night, but I was long asleep by then. But I tuned in this morning, watched it. I really enjoyed y'all's conversation and the topics I were discussing about Master Jay, and right. Yeah, very informative between the two of you. The conversation was the dialogue was very informative. And I was proud just to see you on there. Word.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, man. We gotta get you gotta clip it up, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, man. Word, I'll do that.
Yes, sir.
No problem.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into the topic of today. Pops, you want to go ahead and introduce what we will be discussing a little bit of today?
You know, we had a lot and one thing, you know, I wanted to bring up is Jalen Walker, the young brother who was murdered, gunned down, shot at over 90. Actually, he was shot at 90 times and was hit by 60 of those 90 bullets. And this was all done by Akron Police Department. Jalen was unarmed. He was an Uber driver, I believe, or Uber Eats, and you know, another senseless death, and another young black king that we have lost. And you know, I think they buried him a couple of days ago, and who knows what's going to happen, you know, with these officers. Truly, I think they should definitely get a life sentence for each bullet. And every officer who shot that gun, and their bullet entered Jalen Walker's body, that deserves at least 10, 20 years per bullet. And that's my stance on that. What you say, son?
Yeah, it's just a tragedy to hear the same story again, where not only are they unrightfully killing our family in a sense,
right.
It's in a way to leave a message of malicious intent towards the rest of us. This isn't, you know, a concentrated case where they were just attacking him. This applies to all of us. We could any one of us could have been him. You know,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
That definitely has to change. This need for them to show. I don't know what this is, like grandiose feeling of superiority, or you know, I don't understand it, you know, but it definitely has to stop. It can't happen again. It's just a tragedy, you know. People in these said people that are in these positions, those police officers that decided to gun him down, in that manner, they should have all of their rights of, you know, being a police officer taken away, because they can't handle it.
Right.
They're not in the mental capacity to be able to say, you know, this is the wrong thing to do as a police officer. You're taking advantage of the rights that that very same person that you decided to shoot down gave to you.
It was crazy, man. It's you know, whenever it comes to black men, particularly, we don't never get to stand trial. We don't get taken in to custody unarmed, and the result of that is being shot down. Where you can have several people walking into grocery stores and walking into schools, taking innocent lives of elderly and children, and they get handcuffed, and then they get the opportunity to stand for their trial. Something is not right, man. And you said, you know, you're tired of it, and you know it has to stop. Well, son, I unfortunately, man, it's not going to stop until we start. Till we start taking more care of ourselves and not allowing anybody from the outside to do harm to us, and there's no repercussions behind it. It's like I said, we had a conversation about this, you know, on our previous live, man. You know, if you and I are having a difference of opinion, or you and me are having a conflict, and we are family, I'll be daggone, will somebody else outside of the family come and do you harm? And I allow that to happen. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, it doesn't go on. You know what I'm saying? But only in the Black community do we allow other people who are outside of the Black community to do us harm. And then there's no repercussions. There's nothing that we do behind that. There's no follow-up. There's only protest. You know what I mean? And I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to go through that. I don't want my grandson to go through that. I don't want anybody within this Black family to go through any more suffering from the hands of white people. Yes, we have issues of our own, and that is an internal resolution. You know what I mean? That we will have to fix internally. But externally, we got to stop that just as much. And that's my say on that, man.
Word. All right. Pops, I know we also wanted to discuss the Emmett Till news break that just came out. Before we do,
right.
Do you want to play the speech by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, or did you want to say that until after? Which one?
I mean, well, let's go ahead and play the minister.
Right. All right, and while we're getting that pulled up, guys, if you're enjoying the video, go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, TwoTrey's podcast. We love the interaction that we have with our viewers, so don't hold back. Feel free to leave a comment, ask us questions in the comment box below, and we'll definitely get back to it, whether it be during the live or even afterwards. I try to double check just to make sure people will leave comments maybe a day after and stuff like that, but we'll get to those regardless.
Yeah, we definitely going to give you a response, man. We appreciate everybody's comment and everybody's opinion too.
Word. Yeah. This is we're trying to make this as interactive as possible. So
right.
We'll maybe on some podcasts we'll open up the chat, I guess, to maybe call in or whatever, stuff like that. People share their opinion. But we're here to hear you. As long as it's respect, we're good.
Absolutely.
All right. Also, if you guys also want to share your support another way, you can always donate to the channel. Our donations tab is in the description box below our video. All you gotta do is just click that. It takes you to our PayPal, make the donation, and all proceeds go to making this a better podcast for you guys. All right. Let's go ahead and get to the video that we have from the ministry.
Yeah. And this is from the year 1990, and just a little clip, a little 3-minute clip that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is going to give a description of the state of America in 1990, and just listen and just ask yourself, wow, is that 1990 or 2022 that he is talking like this? But this is the state of America.
More patience than anyone, and is very forbearing. God's patience with his creatures runs out. And when God's patience runs out, his chastisement overtakes the people. And it doesn't take a scholar to see that America, as well as the world, but America in particular, is under divine chastisement. People wake up and they hear water and they look out their windows and they see water carrying their homes away. But I want to remind you of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that soon you would see unusual rain. rain that would be so fierce that it would swell the rivers and the creeks, and they would overflow their banks, and you would see walls of water coming down, drowning out civilization, weakening the foundation of houses and the beds of railroads, breaking up the cement highways and the roads, bringing the snakes out of their hiding places so that the snakes will be floating on the water, biting and killing those who are not killed by the water. This is happening even as I speak. He said that not only would you see unusual rain, but you would see and experience unusual snow. Snow that used to bring joy would bring now death. You would see unusual earthquakes. And they're beginning to happen in diverse places, but the worst of them are saved for the United States of America. God himself is angry. And when God is angry, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said his frown alone means death, but his anger means total destruction. And I believe that America and the world are facing total destruction. You don't have a lot of time to play with your life and with your time and with your children and with this warning that you are receiving from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You don't have many days left at all. Many of us think we can read the Bible and read the Quran and read scripture and read of God's judgment against the wicked and think that we can say that will come in somebody else's time, in somebody else's generation. Well, brothers and sisters, this next 10 years, from 1990 to the year 2000, will witness more death and destruction on this earth than in the whole 90 years that preceded this 10-year period.
And that's that video, Pops. You want to go ahead and speak on that real quick? I wrote some notes down, but I would love to hear your point of view.
Yo, man. Mind you, let's remind the viewers again. That was 1990 that he was speaking like that. And that only confirms and validates that everything that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has spoken back then and even before has been nothing but the truth. And whenever you turn on the minister, it's all relevant. America is on its decline and is declining at a rapid rate, more fast. I mean, it didn't just start in 1990. You know what I mean? But with everything going on, and that has been going on, the killings, the failed political system, the educational system, the lack of confidence with our doctors, the lack of confidence with our politicians, the constant struggle just to receive justice. You know what I mean? Everything that the minister has said has come true, and everything that was taught to him by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has come into fruition. And we mentioned something about the Emmett Till situation, and you know, just like with that and Jalen Walker, you know, well, touching on the Emmett Till, you know, it was said that there was a warrant that was dug up or discovered by the family of Emmett Till, and I guess they was trying to serve, or they was thinking about still serving that warrant to the woman who lied and said that she was offended by something that Emmett Till did to her, whether it was a whistle or whether it was a comment or even a compliment. You know what I mean? Me personally, I don't think it was any of the above. I just think that she just made something up just to have something to say that will get that young boy killed. You know what I mean? And it's nothing new under the sun, because that's usually what a lot of Caucasian women have done to black men. Straight up lie.
Word.
You know what I mean? And lied on us. Go ahead.
I was just gonna if you want to make a final statement on that, I was just gonna piggyback back to the what the minister said and then lead off to the Emmett Till.
But everything that is going on, you know what I mean? As far as like the weather is concerned, and we've been warned. You know what I'm saying? And
real quick, I just want to keep on what you're saying. I'm gonna pull up some pictures of some, like you said, unusual weather.
Right.
I know people. It's been been a talk around lately about unusual weather. I know here in Florida, the weather's been like we've had some storms coming through, right? And I called you maybe 2 days ago, I think a day ago, saying that I've never heard lightning this terrible. Like it was so close and so loud, and constantly hitting in one place. This right here, this happened not too long ago in South Dakota.
South Dakota, yeah.
A green storm. Essentially, it looks to me like the northern lights in the northern part of the world, talking about the Arctics, and where they have the northern lights. Now, it seems to me this kind of something similar. This is one picture from South Dakota. This is another one. And then here in Florida, we've just been having terrible storms as well. It's really hard to explain, to communicate, because unless you were in it, like I was, like you kind of lose the how bad it was. Really, like I'm in my house, and normally, I hear the thunderstorms, outside, and it's sounds like a thunderstorm. I know what a thunderstorm sounds like, but this was something different. And you can see in the sky, it was like striking the same place twice, repeatedly, consistently. Rain was coming down terribly. I wouldn't imagine how anybody would even take a step outside without being fully drenched within a second. I called you, let you know that the power had gone out and stuff. And you had told me about the Brother Sanchez video and to watch that.
Right. And
so he was talking about the Georgia Guidestones and how those have been destroyed. I don't know if any of our viewers know what those are, but those are essentially like America's Stonehenge. Like within like the week leading up to today, they decided to demolish the site. And a lot of it has to do with essentially these monumental ancient sites are, when we look at them on a geo map, you can see that they are very aligned with the longitudes and latitudes of the Earth, and those markers are essentially magnetic power sources that encompass the Earth. The Earth that we live on is essentially kind of, in a way, a living battery of such. And it has its own field in there. And essentially what our ancients would do, they were able to channel that energy. What we're seeing now is them dismantling a lot of these natural sites, these ancient sites. And then soon after, I'm hearing that we're seeing correlations between the damaging of these sites and then extreme extremities happening in the world. And how the minister was talking about, we're seeing unusual weather that's associated with chastisement. you got to look at it just the fact of, even if you aren't a religious person, like, we don't have to, you know, go into like the deep, the, how do you say, like, spiritual or whatever. Like, let's just take on the fact of, like, what we do know.
Right.
As humans, we've made choices on this earth that come with consequences, and how we've been treating this earth is going to show consequences based on our actions. If we treat it right, it's going to do us right. You know, if we treat it wrong, we're going to see signs of mistreatment, and we should be able to associate how the earth is affecting us directly to how we're affecting the earth. If we're throwing off the electromagnetism of the earth by doing the things that we do, building skyscrapers and stuff like that, a whole number of things, the 5G towers and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't understand why we fail to realize that we do have a direct effect on what is going on around us, and whether it be God or just the earth itself is going to react to how we are treating it.
Right.
If we are treating it wrong, if we're not in alignment with the way we live in association to our environment, the environment has the right and will attack us. Our environment is intelligent.
Yes, it is.
It has protocols in place, just like a computer would. If, you know what I'm saying, a file gets corrupted or something like that, in our blood, we have our white blood cells to protect us from viruses or, you know what I'm saying, corrupt files from taking over and ruining the overall system.
Right on, son. Right on.
So
because everything,
we're seeing that right there.
We are seeing it and we're living through it. And, you know, the piggyback off of the internal and external, just think of the planet Earth as our bodies. And like you said, what goes on in the inside, our bodies, is a war. Their immune system combating the germs, right? So taking it from a earthly concept, we are the germ or we are the immune system, depending on which side of the fence you're standing on. But one thing I gotta correct you though, son, is it's not we that's interfering with the nature of how things are and putting up these towers and messing around with these so-called CERN machines. It's not us per se. So we can't take claim for something that we had nothing to do with. It's like when America goes to war, or every time they go to war, who's actually going to war? Who is saying, I'm declaring this country as my enemy? Is it Black America? Do we have any say so? Hold on. On whether or not we want to make somebody our enemy? Here. We don't have any say so. You know what I mean? So we, as far as Black man and woman in America, cannot take credit for something that we haven't started, nor have we put into the effect of this planet. You understand what I'm saying? We are not a part of them. They don't consider our opinion nor ask us what our stance is before they make a decision. They just go.
Well, I'll say this. Well, you know, like they say sometimes, it's guilty by association. Even though our relationship with them isn't the best to have, we still associate with them. So if I'm someone looking from the outside in, I'm not distinguishing Black America from America. I see it as, well, Black America is associated with America, and this is what America has been doing to us. This is what America has been doing to the earth. The earth is not going to discriminate between, you know what I'm saying, who's doing right and who's doing wrong when you're still in association with the person that's doing wrong. You see what I'm saying? Everyone's going to get the book.
Right.
If we really have a problem with what they're doing, we would say, you know what, we got to cut you off.
That's the point. That's the point, son. Until we decide to do that and cut that off, and cut that it's almost as if we're guilty from a fault.
Yeah.
Guilty by association. You know what I mean? And to continue with the rhetoric by using the word we, as if you and I had some part in the decision making in these towers that's going up, the 5D that you mentioned, or anything that involves, you know, this world, man. We as a black man in America are not included, nor is our take considered.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
so
for me, I gotta keep saying we until, like I said, I disassociate, because I can't,
right,
you know what I'm saying, be a part of the benefits and then say, oh, well, I don't partake in that part. You know what I'm saying? You're in a gang, right? And you're not the guy doing all the crimes and stuff, but, you know, they're giving you a cut. They may not give you the best cut, but they give you a cut regardless.
Right.
When a rival gang comes in to, you know, take over, they don't distinguish you from the other guys, even though the truth of the matter is you probably get a lesser cut than them. They treat you like shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, for me, I can't say that until I disassociate, because that's not take. I you know what I'm saying? I still feel like I'm accountable in a part of it, because whether I say, you know, I don't have the bigger role in this, or, you know what I'm saying, I'm still the stepping stool, I'm still associated with that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I can be the dog in the gangbanger's house.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, I can be the best dog in the world. They treat me like shit, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, when someone comes in there and they see them as the opposition, they don't see you not as the opposition. You're part of them.
We're part of them.
Like I'm saying, like until we do it, disassociate, we have to take accountability for what is going on while we're still associated.
Right. The one thing that we are good as far as a people is establishing a difference amongst ourselves. But they don't inquire or establish or divide us by our race. They don't ask you or ask me what church you go to. What religion are you? Where is your political preference? Right?
Right.
They just see us as black men and women. So they somehow combine all of us together as one people. But we don't. You see? But we will still say to ourselves while we're talking, like we're talking right now, and call it the we factor. We are putting these towers up. We are disrupting the Mother Nature. We are interrupting with whatever God intended for his creation to continue out. We are making us affiliated and associating us with them. But again, they don't see us as a part of their we. Only we do.
No, my point is, if I'm, I see what you're saying, but my point is, if I'm you know, let's say I'm Japan, and I declare America my enemy.
Right.
Do you believe Japan's gonna say, you know what I'm saying, I want to nuke DC? You think Japan's gonna distinguish us from one another, or are they gonna say,
no, not at all.
All live together? To me, they're all the same. Because why? Because we're still associated. That's all I'm saying. I get your point, but I'm just saying for someone from the outside.
Right. And let me explain to you what people from the outside of this who lives on the outside of the country think of us. It's like you're walking. It's like we're walking. We're the dog, and we're walking behind our master. That's how they look at us. Right. We don't have anything to establish ourselves as any independent people. We haven't established ourselves as not American. We didn't have a choice as to becoming a citizen of this country or not. Right? We haven't made our stance and established ourselves as an independent people or an independent nation. We have always included ourselves in their particular country. But we never had any question. We were never inquired whether or not we want to be a part of this country. They never asked us, do you want to stay here or go back to your motherland, or we find exactly where you did come from and we send you back there? They never asked us. Everything was just in a almost as if they bought us from the kennel. And by default, we are automatically included into their, from other people outside of this world, of the country. Yes, they are looking at all of us because until we say, no, Japan, we are not a part of what this particular government and policy just rendered, we don't have any take in that. No, we're not saying that. We should, but we're not saying that. You see?
Yeah.
Because we're still saying those words. We. It's like when we were back on the slave plantation, and somebody was riling up the other slaves about overthrowing the master or even running away. There would be few of us on the slave plantation saying, well, what you want to go make master upset for? Or when the master gets sick, he says, we sick, boss. I think Malcolm had did a speech about that. You know what I mean? You're including yourself in anything that goes on in this country, but you didn't have any decision making whatsoever in whatever they put ourselves into. When they go to war, all of a sudden it's we at war. But Muhammad Ali made it plain. He paid for the price for it when he said, I'm not going to no Viet, I'm going to war with no Viet Cong. They ain't never called me a nigga. So if they ain't never called me a nigga, you can't tell me that that's my enemy now, and I gotta go over there and shoot him. And I'm getting persecuted and getting shot by my own citizen brother here in America. Ain't nobody, no Al Qaeda, no Russia, no Al Qaeda has ever came into black communities and started killing us. Now there will be foreigners coming in and into our black communities and opening up businesses. But nobody's ever came and actually said, cha-cha, bang, bang. That's only been white people. We ain't never get shot by no Asian. I'm sorry, we have. But it's not a consistency. But as far as who has been doing the most crime and terrorism against black people, other than black people, it's white people. Until we say enough is enough. We need to police ourselves. We need to govern ourselves. We need to establish our own nation. We are a nation within a nation. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's time that we do that, man. Because I don't want to see you go through another 80 plus years. Because this is what I asked your great grandmother one day. I said, Grandma, how long have you been waiting to get saved by Jesus? And she said, all my life. And your grandmother's 93, your great grandma was 93 years old at that time. And my next question to her was, well, how long do you want me to wait? You know what she did? She started laughing. Because she knew that made sense. All her life, she's been waiting for Jesus to come save us and put us onto a path of freedom and peace. All her life. Because that's what was given to her as a child. There's going to be a Jesus that's going to come and save us. Well, she's been waiting for 93 plus years. No savior. No savior that she recognizes. But you want me to go through the same process that you went through? You want me to go through the same church, the same education, the same diet? Something is not right, man. And everything, this is what we had a conversation about this last night. Everything is the result of what we did before. There's a cause and there's the effect. And what the results are is just what is a sign of what we were doing prior to that. If we don't have nothing of our own, we got to look back and ask ourselves, what have we been doing for so long that it hasn't equaled independence? It hasn't equaled our freedom, justice, and equality. We're not insane, right? But the definition for insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Key word, result. We got to keep that in mind. What is the result? You know what I mean?
So let's go ahead and get into the next topic we were discussing a little bit earlier. We touched on was the Emmett Till situation. I have the video pulled up of the new details that have come out.
Okay.
What, been 70 years since the initial murder?
1955, the warrant in Emmett Till case was found. Family seeks arrest. Yeah. Yep.
Only in America.
Yo, man. I know.
Get that playing for us.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But just like every individual who made a claim or a false accusation, they need to be locked up. And especially if the victim or the person who they made the accusation against had, of course, their reputation has been damaged. They may have lost opportunities. Actually, they did lose opportunities. You know what I mean? And that's been well documented. You know, people being accused of rape, and now all of a sudden they spending their multiple years in prison. Their reputation is shattered. They lost family members. You know what I mean? People turn their back on them, all because of a lie. You know what I mean? And this Me Too movement thing. I understand. I have daughters, So if any one of my girls came up to me and said, Daddy, you know, so-and-so did this, and this, you know, of course, I'm a believer. You know what I mean? And how I take on how I respond is going to affect my future. But what if she might be telling a story? You know what I mean? I'll have to eat that for the rest of my life. You know?
Right.
You see her? She needs to die in jail. Now, I don't say that lightly, okay?
Amen.
This is the woman who started the chain reaction that got Emmett Till killed when he was 14 years of age. Now, a warrant has been discovered that was never served on her in connection to that murder, which provides a legal avenue for her to actually finally be prosecuted. Carolyn Bryant Donham. Let's show a picture of Emmett Till and his mother, okay? That's Mammy Till Bradley. I want you to remember that Emmett Till was 14 years of age when Carolyn Bryant decided to lie on him, create a mob justice atmosphere where two men connected to her kidnapped him and killed him. All right, let's get into it. Carolyn Bryant's then husband, Roy Bryant, and his half-brother, J.W. Millam, on August 28, 1955, grabbed Till from his great-uncle's home, carried him away, and killed him. Both men are now deceased. A team searching a Mississippi courthouse, they searched the basement for evidence about the lynching of the black teenager Emmett Till, and they found an unserved warrant charging a white woman in his 1955 kidnapping. Now, this is important because this is an unserved warrant and a different element of the crime. This is not murder, this is kidnapping. It's a different dynamic of the initial crime that we know on record, all right? This unserved warrant was charging Miss Carolyn Bryant, a white woman, in his 1955 kidnapping, and relatives of the victim. They want authorities to finally arrest her nearly 70 years later. All right, so yeah, she's in her 80s, okay? All right, I don't give a damn that she's in her 80s. You have to remember, her privilege ran so deep that literally she had a kidnapping of a minor arrest warrant that got squashed. You know.
Fair use.
You're okay. She was free. You can't even have a warrant for a damn traffic ticket and remain free for 70 years. At some point, you have to answer for that traffic ticket. This woman had a warrant for her arrest for kidnapping a child. There's more.
So we'll just let the ad play for a little bit and let the thing play. Pops, want to get some thoughts?
I concur. It doesn't matter if she's 80. It didn't matter if Bill Cosby was as old as he is to touch a prison cell for something that he did supposedly, allegedly, back when, you know, however young he was. He had to pay that price. What's the difference with her? And they had a warrant. So they was actually going to arrest her on the kidnapping charge. What happened?
Let's find out.
Warrant for the arrest of Carolyn Bryant, identified as Mrs. Roy Bryant in the warrant that had been placed in a box. The Leflore County Circuit Clerk Stockstill told the Associated Press on Wednesday. So the documents are kept inside of boxes by decade, he said. But there was nothing else to indicate where the warrant dated August 29th, 1955 might have been. They narrowed it down between the 50s and 60s and got lucky, sinuous. So let me tell you what's happening. happening now. Remember.
It seems like the video cut out. Let me
Right.
see if I can get past into it.
I mean, you know, we pretty much got the gist of it. I definitely want to see justice served for Emmett Till. Like he said earlier in that clip, the two men that were responsible for his murder has already died, and I pray that they are suffering the chastisement of their actions. And there's still one left that needs to be served justice, and that's that woman.
Man, that's a lot to unpack.
Absolutely.
The fact that, you know, like he said, essentially her privilege allowed her to get away with having a warrant out for her arrest speaks volumes in itself. I think it even speaks more to the fact that we all know, like, this is a very famous case. And you would think that would help, you know, Emmett and his family find closure.
Right.
But it seems like no matter what outlet we decide to go to find justice for the harm that was done to us, that is trumped by the privilege of those who have more privilege in this country.
Right.
And this speaks volumes to how far that goes. Over 70 years of having a warrant out for your arrest, and yet no one takes claim to. There's a warrant out for your arrest. I don't know any.
Right.
I guess
a warrant.
Yeah, we live in two different worlds. I don't know a single person in my life that has ever had a warrant served out for them, and that warrant was not served.
Right. Right. There's no statute of limitations where it comes to having a warrant be served.
And
that's not in the law. It didn't say.
You know, she wasn't in hiding. She wasn't hiding. They just said, you know what? She's got things. They said she's living her life. Let her live her life.
Right.
Even though we have a warrant out for her arrest, we don't
apparently.
Get that.
And if you really think about it, why would they even keep it? Why didn't they just shred it? Burn it up? Somebody decided to hold on to it. So just due to the fact that it was held on to and preserved, that means it needs to be served. Because if it was destroyed, we would have never known that a warrant existed. So that means somebody had a mind and saying, we might want to hold on to this in case. So somebody had a slight, a piece of goodness in their heart by saying, I'm not going to destroy this. I'm just going to tuck it away and put it down here so that it can be found one day. That one day is now. Let justice reign and get this woman behind bars.
Sounds like for me and you, Pops, is pretty obvious, like, how we feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Right. We both, I assume, want her to be served for her actions in his death. But I want to hear what the viewers think. So if you guys are watching out there, please leave a comment. We'll do this. If you believe that she deserves to be sentenced for her participation in the crime of Emmett Till, drop a 1. If you think it's been too long or you have a difference of opinion and you think she does not have to serve time, go ahead and drop 0. I just want to see what people are thinking out there. This is very interesting. Like I said, for me, this kind of heinous crime, and it just can't be ignored. How it has been since now. I think Emmett and his family definitely deserve the closure. Somehow we can't get the actual people that were responsible for it, but we can at least get the said person that was associated with that to his death. The right thing definitely needs to be done. I you know what I'm saying, I hope that who's ever representing his family does their job and gets the justice that they deserve. But again, I want to hear what people out there think, Pops. You know,
and,
so like
and,
I said, if you guys think, hold on, real quick, I was just gonna say, if y'all think that this lady should serve time for the crime that she committed, drop a 1 in the comments. If you don't, for whatever reason, drop a 0 and tell me why. I want to, understand what other people are feeling out there.
You know, we sometimes we ask ourselves, why do white people hate us so much? And I want to read something to you, and this pertains to there's several evils in people. There's jealousy, envy, hate, and sometimes we got to understand where all of this is rooted from. So I want to read you something, or read the viewers something, and this is out of the Final Call edition, and page 26, where the title is, "Do You Really Believe in Divine Prophecy?" And it goes into jealousy. And this is what it says. Jealousy and envy, rooted in selfishness, were foreseen as dominant characteristics of the motives of a huge number of people. So we must ask, are we jealous? Of who and why? Are we envious? Of who and why? Are we selfish? How are these three related? How do these obstruct our views and growth? Can we enter God's kingdom in this state? The slave master set up conditions for jealousy and envy to be planted deeply in the hearts of the slaves. That continues today. But also we must know this, that unknown to Black people, especially nowadays, is a profound envy of our future by the wicked, who see our future better than we do and seek to destroy us. That right there is deep and heavy. And if you have any type of ill will towards your brother, towards your sister, towards your friend, towards your neighbor, that is rooted or has a envious, cognitive, if there's any type of envy or jealousy within you pertaining to your brother or your sister, you need to really look in the mirror and ask yourself, why? What did they do to me that now I dislike that particular individual's success? I don't like the certain ways that they say things, the certain way that they do things. What is rooted? What is making you think of your brother or your sister or your friend or your neighbor in that type of way? And that's wicked. That's evil. And that's what we've been facing and being the victims of. People who are jealous and who are envious of us. And please, don't be a jealous, envious person. That's all.
That's real talk. I always say myself that envy is one of the most slippery slopes of an action that you can have towards someone else.
Right.
It's a slippery slope from being envious of someone and committing an act of ill will, like you said, against that person that can, result in death, any number of things. But envy, definitely watch out for people that are envious of you, for sure.
Right.
Real talk.
That's dangerous, man. Because an envious person can hurt you physically. An envious person can lead into doing very, very demonic things. And I'm gonna use the word demonic because there is no righteous, godly mind that would think of doing anything harmful to anyone else just because they may be doing something that the other person is not doing. Or they may be in a position that person is not in the position of. So they, in retaliation, will do you harm. Or say something to you that is not uplifting. They will question certain things that you do because they have in their own thought, in their own heart, of something in which is preventing them from saying anything that would be uplifting. Be careful. We already got it going on with those individuals in those badges carrying around those guns. Come on, black people. We gotta be better, do better, and look at ourselves in a higher and much more better light than what we had. Because we don't have that much more time. You know what I mean? We will receive the same chastisement as Satan and his miniature death demons if we continue on doing the same thing that we've been doing to each other. Yeah, what is the difference between us and white America? As far as what the Chinaman sees, nothing. Because we're doing the same thing to ourselves that the white man is doing to us. So we got to ask ourselves, are we different? How are we different? Let's prove it.
Word, Pops. Hey, if you don't have anything else to add to the podcast, I think we should end it right there. That was heavy. Word.
Deep, man. Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, this has been another episode of TwoTrey's podcast. Again, Son Trey, and always his name is Pops Trey. And this is episode 29 now. Another one in the
29.
books. Yes, sir.
Indeed.
Word.
Let's get better, man.
Y'all make sure y'all keep tuned into the channel. We'll definitely be coming out with more videos, of course, kind of like on a weekly basis. Of course, definitely stay tuned in. You'll see some interesting people on the show. Most likely, we'll have some more special guests on the show. Some people that you really want to hear from that have very insightful thoughts. And just stay clicked in, all right? But with that being said, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you like the video today. And with that, we out. Pops, you have a blessed rest of your day. Hey, Legend.
You too, son.
I'm glad you stopped crying. You stopped at the right time. You made it all through the video, buddy.
Say peace.
Peace.
Hey. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu
alaikum mean peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum mean peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum mean peace be unto you. Love you, son.
Love you too, Pops. Love you, Legend. Y'all have a beautiful day. Viewers out there, y'all have a beautiful day as well. See y'all next time.
Peace.